The U.S. women's soccer team apparently had a game over the weekend. I'm not the biggest fan. Can't say I've ever watched even 30 seconds of a U.S. women's soccer game. But during the national anthem, a significant portion of the team decided not to put their hands over their hearts, but to stand somberly, hands behind their back, disrespecting the Star-Spangled Banner. Here you go. One girl puts her hand on her heart. Good. Respectful. Wow, they don't even teach the kids to do it. There's another girl. Okay, there's another girl has her hand on her heart. The rest of the vast majority of the team, there's another one. At least 2-1, they're disrespecting the flag, not putting their hand on their heart, standing stoically. They're not willing to take the knee that got all that kind of trouble in the NFL. Okay, there we go. There's one guy with his hand on his heart. It's at least half the girls are not doing it. It's probably a little more than half the girls. No hand on their heart. So it's a subtler form of disrespect than the Colin Kaepernick stuff. And then you can see, because you could tell this was a political problem, the cameras start zooming in on the girls who do have their hands on their hearts, but you can't ignore it. It's just so clear so many of them are not doing this. Why are they not doing it? Are they not doing it because they were brought up the wrong way? Like those little kids, they've got these little kids standing in front of the women's soccer team. They don't have their hands on their heart. I don't blame the kids for that. The kids were just brought up the wrong way. Their parents didn't teach them how they're supposed to stand for the Star-Spangled Banner. The adults should know better. And furthermore, I'm skeptical that this is just some innocent mistake. One, because their teammates have their hands on their hearts, so they're noticing that this is what one does. And two, because U.S. women's soccer has historically been extremely left-wing and unpatriotic. I think of that awful woman, Megan Rapinoe, as the poster child of this. And because in sports broadly, there has been this rebellion against the Star-Spangled Banner and the flag, which symbolizes the whole country. So what are we to do about this? What I would be inclined to do, at the very least, is fire those women who disrespect the flag from the team. Just fire them outright. And potentially what I would do, because this has been a problem in U.S. women's soccer for so long, is just disband the team, just get rid of it. And maybe you think that's a little bit harsh, but then let me ask you this question. What's the point of U.S. women's soccer? What's the point? Is it to get a lot of viewership? It doesn't get that much viewership. Okay, it's not as bad as the WNBA, but it doesn't get a lot of viewership. But even if it were a really popular team, that's not the point. That's not what it's for. The point of a U.S. national team is to represent the U.S. nation. And so if the team disrespects the nation that it exists to represent, then the team does not fulfill its main purpose, and you should just disband it. And you can either start again or just not have one. No one's going to miss the U.S. women's soccer team, so just get rid of it. If the salt loses its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? What is the point of the salt? No, then it's good for nothing and ought to be trampled underfoot. Right now, text Knowles to 989898. We are days away from the Durban Accords, the greatest threat to the U.S. dollar's global dominance in the past 80 years. On August 22nd, BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, are expected to announce the launch of a new international supercurrency fully backed by gold or other commodities. This is part of their long-term plan to supplant the U.S. and the dollar as cornerstones of the global financial system. You can protect your IRA or 401k from the fallout from this landmark announcement by diversifying with gold from Birch Gold. Historically, gold has been a safe haven in times of high uncertainty, which is right now. When currencies fail, gold is a safe haven. How much more time does the dollar have? Protect your savings with gold. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of happy customers. Text Knowles, Canada WLES, to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold. If a central bank digital currency becomes a reality, it will be nice to have some gold to depend upon. Text Knowles, Canada WLES, to 989898. Right now, head on over to hillsdale.edu/Knowles. Are you a few years or maybe decades out of school and wondering, what the heck did I even learn and what was the point? You might think to yourself that you don't have time to learn something new. If that's you, then know this, you're not alone, it's not too late. Since 1844, Hillsdale College has been providing education in faith, freedom, and character. They have taken some of the core classes that they teach on campus and made them available for free online for anyone who wants to learn. That is right, for free. There are 39 free courses to choose from, ranging from the U.S. Constitution, the Book of Genesis, to free market economics. They are easy to follow. They are self-paced, so you can start whenever you want. In fact, you can start right now. It's everything you need all in one place, no long-term commitment. Go to Hillsdale College. Let them be your guide. Go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles to enroll. No cost, easy to get started. Hillsdale.edu/Knowles to register. Hillsdale.edu/Knowles. We have forgotten in the modern age, not just on the left, but even many people on the right, that things have a purpose. A thing is defined, in fact, by its purpose. To use some of the more formal language, some of the Aristotelian language, you as a person are not defined merely by your purpose, like in the way that the leftist tears tumbler is defined by bringing delicious leftist tears into my mouth. That's what it's for. If it can no longer do that, then it has no purpose. It's lost its essence. You're a little different than that because you're a primary substance and you're made by God. You're not an artifact made by man. But at the very least, these things that are just man-made constructs, they have a purpose. They're defined by that. If they don't fulfill that, then get rid of it. We have such mission drift, such mission creep in all of these man-made institutions now. Do you remember during the Obama administration, we were told that the point of NASA was to make peace with the Muslim world? NASA, the thing that exists to go to the moon and to go to outer space and to take pictures of the stars. We said, no, actually the real purpose is to make friends with the Muslim world. That's it. The real purpose of the U.S. Army is to make people feel really good about their gender identity or whatever. No, that's not. No, the point of the U.S. Army is to kill people. Okay, it's not to really come to recognize white rage and correct the deep-seated oppression of the patriarchy of the. No, the point of the U.S. Army is to kill our enemies. That's the point of it. And if we're not doing that, or if we're putting the cart before the horse, then we need to structurally change that. And until there are consequences for this kind of mission creep, and in the case of the U.S. women's soccer team, totally undermining the very purpose of the thing. Until there are consequences, and someone goes in there and says, no, we define things by their purpose, and when they contradict that purpose, we cut it out. When we, in a phrase, stop pretending that freedom, quote unquote, is an end unto itself, and start to remember that freedom is a means to human flourishing, that freedom, I'm just channeling the founding fathers and all great statesmen in history, that freedom is the right to do what we ought to do, that end in sight, not merely the ability to do whatever we want to amuse ourselves until we die. We're not going to be able to fix these problems until we recognize that liberty in America is an instrument for the purpose of attaining the blessings of liberty. There it is. It's right there in our Constitution. Until we recognize that, we're going to continue to put the cart before the horse, and things are going to become even more and more absurd. Boy, what a great clip that was. Make sure that you ring the bell. Subscribe to the Michael Knowles Show channel. We'll see you next time.